Big Sky Brewing Company is the largest brewery in Montana. One of the seasonal beers it produces is Powder Hound, its winter warmer. With a growing distribution base of 23 states and counting, is this winter seasonal worth checking out? Find out now on Two Dudes Reviews. What up, guys? Yeah, today we have Powder Hound Winter Ale out of Missoula, Montana. So let's check it out. Been in Montana once, driving through, stopped at, Old Yellowstone and Grand Teton, which in my opinion, Grand Teton is the national park to go to. Less people, more wide open, but that's just my opinion. It's just like your opinion, man. Alright, let's get into the smell. It's definitely a nut bitterness. It's got that brown ale IPA thing going on. A deeper sweetness, kind of like a watered down molasses. Maybe a hint of cinnamon, maybe just subtle. Maybe, it is a winter seasonal, but it does really smell like like you're kind of like a Scottish ale, with maybe a little more heavy on the bitter IPA kind of thing. But I think it smells pretty interesting. I'm going to recommend it. So, alright, let's get into the taste. You definitely have the hot bitterness. Definitely more bitter than your general red. I think there is a subtle cinnamon buried down in there. There is that kind of there's that little bit of cinnamonness to it, but it is kind of hidden basically with that bitter IPA, and the hops has that almost grapefruity kind of thing, the citrusy, but that's kind of an American hop, so I'm going to assume most of their hops kind of come from the Pacific Northwest, which would make sense. But so you got that bitterness, you got the kind of subtle cinnamon. Maybe not so much on the molasses. I think not really. It's not sweet. That's definitely not. I'm not getting the winter seasonal though. It kind of tastes more like an everyday, or just if you make a red with the IPA. It tastes like you mix your kind of Scottish red with an IPA, and that's what this is kind of going with. I'm not getting that winter seasonal thing though. But it's nice. It's not super heavy on the bitterness to the point where it's just bitter to be bitter. I don't like those IPAs where they just do it. You can still get other flavors out of this, which is nice. There's too many IPAs on the market that you don't get a variation of flavors going on. So I like this. I'm going to recommend it on the flavor. Alright, next is a value for price. This is something you're not going to be able to find everywhere, out of Montana. Big Sky Brewing Company. I think that is the largest in the state. But it's not, I don't think it's super wide. You might be able to find, I got it in Arizona, so you might be able to get it kind of west of, it's kind of like, basically look at Texas, cut Texas down, that's kind of like the middle point. Everything west of that, I'm going to assume you could probably get this. Anything east, that's, maybe. But the places you are going to get it, the distribution is not, super high end, or in depth, I should say. So the price is going to be higher. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it wasn't super expensive, but it also wasn't super cheap. It was kind of right in the middle area where maybe you're paying $3 for a bottle. Maybe it might have been a little less, but I'm gonna give it a half for the price, just because it's a micro beer from 1,500 miles away. You're gonna pay for that. So I'm gonna give it a half on that. But all right, next is distinction. How distinct is it? I'm gonna give it another swig. I wouldn't classify it as a winter ale. I think that's a little deceiving because it doesn't taste like a winter ale. It tastes a little more like I'd almost put it more in like the spring kind of thing. But even so, it tastes like a red IPA. That's what it tastes like. More IPA and less red. But so I'm not getting the winter thing. I almost feel like some of these breweries, you already have your year-long red or IPA or whatever, and so you don't want to have two of them, but you just came up with a new recipe and you want to fit it in somewhere, but you're not sure how to, so you kind of sneak it into a seasonal and just kind of stamp it's a winter beer. I don't think that this doesn't taste like a winter beer to me. Especially in Montana, where you have like 50 billion feet of snow. So to me, for someplace like that where it's cold, you got a lot of snow, it's gonna be heavier, it's gonna be darker, it's gonna be more the spiced kind of thing. It's just kind of it's an IPA that happens to come out during the wintertime, and so it's a winter beer. I got a problem with that a little bit. It tastes fine. And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent on its classification, but distinction, it doesn't distinct itself as a great winter beer. If you're looking for a winter Christmas seasonal kind of thing that has some of those spices that are missing from kind of the rest of the year, this is not the beer you want. If you just like a well-made IPA, basically, then sure, check this one out. Just know that it's more along the lines of a middle bitterness IPA, and it's not really. You're not going to get those winter spices that you might be looking for. So, because I'm going to give it a half, it's just. I might have given it a full if it was just. It's not a winter ale to me. So that's my nitpick at it. They just kind of threw it in the wintertime because they needed to release it at some point. Because it is good enough to be released, at least. So, I don't know, I'm just kind of ranting now. Alright, but next is drinkability. I'm going to get another sip of this. It's a good beer. Don't get me wrong, it is good. And it's not super heavy bitter. So if you like some bitterness, but some of those other IPAs are just too over the top, I think this is okay. I don't know off the top of my head what the IBUs are. I don't think it says. I would have to guess between 50 and 60 IBU. That's what I just guessed right off the top of my head. So it's not super heavy, but you do get the bitterness. So I think for what it is, an IPA. Let's not beat around the bush. For what that is, it is the drinkability is fine. So I will recommend it on the drinkability. All right, last category is would I buy it again? That gets tricky because if I'm looking for a winter seasonal with those seasons and spices and all that stuff that I want out of my Christmas winter beers, I would not buy this because it doesn't have it. And that's the thing. If you get the seasons, the spice just right, it can mix really great with an IPA. Because you already have kind of that subtle pine thing going on with a lot of IPAs. And so you can really just mix in just a little bit of those kind of Christmas seasons, the spices, and it goes really well. But I feel like that for a winter beer, kind of missed that opportunity. But also, IPAs are just all over the dang place in the States, and so you gotta make what people want, and so I feel like you're almost handcuffed into making it more just IPA than something different. And so I have a problem with that. So if I'm looking for a Christmas beer, this is not going to be it. If I want just an IPA that's not super bitter, and maybe, hey, check out this beer from Montana, then yeah, okay, I would. I'd decide to yes. So I'm going to give this a half again. Honestly, it being from Montana kind of is saving it because it's, yeah, check out these Montana beers. Pretty good. If it wasn't, I don't know. But, so I'm going to give it a half. Sorry, I'm just totally ranting on this beer right now. And it's a good beer, but I don't know. So I feel like, okay, as I'm ranting right now, so you have, Germany has its purity laws, which kind of handcuffs it a bit for what you can put into the beers. And so while a lot of the beers are really good, you can only make just a small, segment of beers. In the United States, there is no purity law like that, but because IPA has been so, that's what people drink, and that's like all a lot of people drink. It handcuffs a lot of the brewers into be like, well, we got to make something that sells, so we have to keep pumping out new IPAs. And I feel like that in itself is handcuffing a lot of things. And of course, now you got sours, but that's a different tangent. But I don't know. But that is my review on Powder Hound Winter Ale IPA from Big Sky Brewing Company. If you've had it before, let me know if you like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I just think it's mislabeled. But let me know what you think in the comments. And if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. Maybe you enjoy a good beer rant. Let me know. Then who knows? Maybe I'll go on more extended rants on different beers. But yeah, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. And so for myself and for Powder Hound, take it easy.